We're gonna talk to some people, gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna learn a lot of stuff. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna learn a lot of stuff. Cause Kristin knows blank.
Welcome back to the Kristin Knows Blank podcast. I found another comedian that'll talk to me, and so we're going to have another show. Thank you for watching or listening to this show. Please take a second to like, follow, subscribe, leave comments, leave reviews, whatever. However you're listening or watching, there's going to be a little button that says like, follow, or subscribe. Just push the button because that's how this game starts. Hi, I'm Kristin Key. I'm the host of this crazy mess. You can find me on my website, kristinkey.com. There you can follow me on all my social media. You can get a cameo from me. It's a great gift to give somebody when you don't know what to get them. I'm also on Patreon, so support this and all my shows by joining my Patreon. Now, my comedian this week, I met him in Spokane, Washington. When he takes the stage, it is like an eruption. I've heard him described as a Molotov cocktail of comedy. Hey, computer lady, play that interview with Luke SEVEREID.
Playing interview with Luke SEVEREID.
Luke, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me today.
Oh my God, it's been months, but I really enjoyed working with you. And was it Spokane?
Yeah, we were in Spokane. It was like summer last year, I think.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This is how time is.
Doesn't matter.
Oh wow! In my head, I was like 2 months ago. Yeah, like around probably last April. But okay, wow, that's exciting.
It was half of a pandemic ago. I don't know.
What? Yeah, the whole thing is like 3 months to me, so I can't believe it's been 2 years. Crazy. You have I remember working with you. You've got, and I've been watching you on social media. You have so much energy for a comedian. Where do you find all that energy?
Rage? No.
Awesome. Excellent.
No, I was always a very, very fidgety kid and was always told to be less rambunctious. And I was like, I love metal music. I'm that. I like that. I like to sound like a monster. That's it. It makes me happy. And so when I started doing comedy, I was like, I can do that on stage. And people respond positively to me, literally going at them, and they're like, all right, why wouldn't I always want to do that if I can?
That's exactly what happens too. You are just and your audience is like, oh my God, they have a blast. You're a roller coaster of comedy. It's so fun to watch. Like, I mean, as the person following you, there's a little bit of, I guess the insecure comic that goes, are there going to be enough laughs for the whole show? Because you do take so many, but then you have to remember and have faith that like people will find ways to laugh harder again. It is a pleasure to watch what you do to an audience. It's so fun.
That's very flattering. And
you felt that too. You've seen someone in front of you and just be like, oh, are they going to take all of them? Like, is there anything left?
Where you get insecure and you're just like, okay, obviously they love this and I'm not this. So hopefully they like this. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do remember there was a couple of shows where I was like, oh, that was a really good set. And I was like, ooh, I felt good. I'm like, and it wasn't anything just be like, follow that. But it was just like, ooh, okay, all right. I feel pretty good. And then you go up there and just immediately are destroying. And I'm like, all right, well, you did all right, Luke.
You did amazing. I would like to work with you again because I think it's fun for that audience to get to have the metal show and then the cat show and be like, I didn't know I liked metal and cats,
Well, and I also like to think that the way I present it, it's silly enough that it undercuts it. So it is like a slight lead into what you do to an extent, because it is like absurdist and like,
yes.
Like I'm screaming at you or yelling, not screaming, yelling, but it's also like clearly, and I'm giggling like an idiot. Like it undercuts it. It is literally me 5, but bald and bearded.
It's some, I don't know. It's like a whimsical knife. Like it might hurt you, but you'll love it. Like it's so fun and dangerous. I don't know if any of those things are true, but yeah. Don't ever let me describe your album. Kristin Key calls it a whimsical knife.
I mean, now that's better than anything I was going to come up with. Whimsical knife. That's how I want to be murdered. If I have to be murdered, it like just and you're done.
So we worked together. I think that was the weekend I encouraged our opener to watch a movie about big waves with me.
You were watching it in the green room too.
Yeah, and by encouraged, I mean I really held him hostage until he had to
Yeah.
go on stage, and then he'd be like, "Oh, thank God, I get to go to work," and I'd pause it and be like, "Okay, so you didn't miss anything. Here's what happened on the wave." And I think that's what like this podcast kind of is. It's like comedians, we all love comedy. We talk about comedy in the green room for a bit, then we talk about like sleeping, food, and porn. But then we talk about all the other things that we're into. Like I like big wave movies, I crochet. And it's funny, comedians have so many different layers to that onion. I've been doing this podcast and finding out all these bizarre little things that different comics are into, from like true crime to Wendy's. You like metal, video games, and having ADD.
For sure. I've spent a lot of time playing video games. Love me some metal music, and got diagnosed with ADD less than a year ago. And like through that lens, I've just looked at everything that I've done with my life and just been like, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. And like the ADD ties into video games, like the because video games are just a series of rules with reward systems in place.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, you like you got Mario as your background. You know left, right, up, sometimes down. A is jump. B
Faster,
is
slower.
run fast.
Yeah, faster, slower. And yeah.
And then you figure out the mechanics to move through that. And you know, someone who's like a relatively awkward kid who would always be like way too much energy. People are always like, all right, calm down, man. Like I wasn't a terrible kid, but I was definitely like just a ball of energy bouncing off stuff. If I'm able to pick up a controller and see the movements, you don't have any, you know what to and not to do very easily. And so there's an appeal with that. And with metal music, it's a bunch of people running in a circle kicking each other. Like that's a great time.
When did you start like you said you was a kid with ADD? So like as a grown-up man now, because we have a generation where when I grew up our parents didn't play video games, but now I'm in my 40s. I'm assuming you're younger but in my ballpark, 30s?
Yeah. I'm mid 30s.
Okay. But we come from a generation now like I never saw dad and mom playing them, but we are the age of all the kids' parents now, and I play video games on a daily basis. So like, what are you playing now as a grown-up man?
Right now as a grown-up man, I was just earlier today playing the new Horizon Forbidden West on PlayStation 5.
Oh. See, you're a grown-up man that has a PlayStation 5. Did you have any children?
No.
See?
No.
Isn't that great? I'm a childless lesbian and we have all kinds of cool toys. And I don't mean to just like rub it into all the people listening or watching that like have kids. Like, you could have cooler shit if you didn't have your kids. Like,
I mean, I think their rebuttal might be, I'm tired and don't have as much money, but at least someone's going to be at my funeral.
son of a bitch.
You're like, yeah, and you're going to make them cry. Wow, kind of a dick move. My kids aren't going to cry at all at my funeral because they don't exist. So.
They don't exist. Yeah, they won't care. Yeah.
The
Who's
void
gonna pay
can't
for,
weep.
no one's going to pay for that funeral. Like,
What do you think happens at funerals? There's not a cover charge.
no, I mean, no one will pay to have a funeral for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any kids.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I was playing that earlier today. And that's fun. It's pretty cool. All the stuff the controller does. Got like a little bow and arrow in the game, and like the triggers, like they have different feedback. Like they get tighter, like harder to pull.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's neat. You're playing, you're just like, oh, technology is kind of neat right now.
Yeah. How long will you play before you stop on like something like that?
Like in a session or like just overall for
like
the game?
If you don't have anything to do and you're like, there's no one to check on you, how long would you go?
I mean, pre-COVID, like if I had everything going good and everything's like locked in place, I'm an adult, blah blah blah, I could throw like 6 hours. I could throw a day at it if I didn't have, if it's a game where I'm like, yo, this is all the dopamine, serotonin's making a nice little whirly in the brain. I could throw a full day at it. But like, the amount of time where I had nothing to do when I was just like, all right, let's play video games. Literally the West Coast is on fire. I can't even step outside to go on a walk. Looking out the window just makes me go, oh, I should watch the new Total Recall, shouldn't I guess? Like I spend enough of those days like just trying to escape that if I sit down for like a little bit too long, I get weird little like PTSD light where I'm just like, we shouldn't be spending more than an hour or two at a time.
Right. Right. Yeah. Spider-Man. I got what was it? The Spider-Man, not the Miles Morales, but the one before that for
Oh yeah,
PS4. Loved
uh,
it. But
that's
yeah,
a great
in
one.
COVID, we were in lockdown, and there were a few days that like my wife would just be like, "You want to play Spider-Man today?" I'm like, not as much as I did the last couple
Yeah,
days because I'm a little like, I don't like it's almost like an addict like that binged. It's like I need to take a day off, I think, and maybe just like look at the window. Like
yeah,
it's a
and
lot.
that's a great game. Really, really fun. The
Awesome game.
traversal in that game is so like they nailed it. You're like, oh, I guess I'm Peter Parker. I
You're
guess
so
so.
Peter Parker. I know exactly what he feels like. Yeah.
If you want to get really upset, look at the graphic updates they did from the PS4 version of that game to the PS5 version of that game. Like they changed the character model, and you're like, why did you?
I heard
It
about
looks
that.
it's just a different face, and you're like, what? Who? Why? Like it's like going back and it's like what they did to like the original Star Wars. Like George Lucas just went back and did stuff, and you're like, what? This was fine. You didn't need
Didn't
to.
need to have a song and dance routine at the beginning of Jedi. There's no reason for that. There was no reason for it.
I think Star Wars is so overrated. I'm so tired of just everyone's just been like, "It's the best," and also full. I'm a Star Trek kid. That's what I was raised on. It was Lutheran, Next Generation. That's the combination that led to this. So, and also my name's Luke, and a lot of Star Wars jokes growing up.
Right.
But it's like
Okay.
Star Wars is corny. It's corny.
Star Wars is mean to you. It personally victimized you. I hear you. It's okay.
I mean, at a certain point, you get tired of strangers constantly telling you they slept with your mom and made you.
What?
I mean, I'm extrapolating slightly, but the amount of people that are like, Luke, I'm your father. And you're like,
Right.
it's not even
Right.
the right
Right.
line.
Right.
Uh,
Right. And you've heard it so many times.
and I say these things as someone who's very much so enjoyed it at times.
Right.
Like, and that's why I'm so annoyed where I'm like, okay, and now Disney has it, and Disney is Disney, so that it's just going to make everything so cookie cutter, and I've not been hearing good things about these series, and you're like, and they're going to make 700 of them. It's
Yeah,
like,
what
okay.
they do well. And it's like I fall for like some of the baby shit. Like I love Baby Yoda and I love like
Mhm.
I'm in. I'm in. They hooked me in and I'm in for life. But it's like some other stuff I'm just like I don't get it. Maybe it's a Gen Z thing that they're trying to grab. I don't know.
It's probably what they're doing to an extent. It's just
Smart.
like
Yeah.
here's this. Pretty soon, like every episode of the series is just going to be like less than 3 minutes. So, and it's going to be shot vertically, so we can have it on TikTok or something. I don't know.
Did you play any of the Star Wars games? Did you play Battlefront? Did you play Battlefront 2? Did you play the
Okay,
Rogue
I got.
Squadron?
I didn't play Squadron that much. I played a little bit of the Battlefront, but I don't have to qualify it. I don't like EA,
Okay.
the publisher, and the way I saw that how they were handling the release and just the hyper monetization of the game made me go, all right, I don't have a lot of power, but I'm not going to give you my money,
Okay.
because that has been a as a fan of video games and just the franchise in general, I do see it as works of art because it is storytelling. There's a lot of it's if a picture is art, if a movie is art, if music is art, if you combine all those together and make it so that a person can experience that, or at least go through that world and experience it and have emotions from the thing you created, I perceive that as a form of art. And then you get large companies involved that go, oh, you guys as a group of artists make something cool that resonated with the public. We're going to buy you, and then we're going to push our desire our desire to make money off of your work in these little ways. Like it's the Battlefront, it's a shooter, it's competitive, you earn points. That's another thing, like scratches that itch, you earn points to level up. Oh, I
Right.
can unlock a new thing.
Yeah.
But you can also buy points to unlock things. And the new business model for a lot of games like Fortnite, which is free to play, but it makes you go, hey, if you want these things it's digital content, it's infinitely repeatable, but you have to pay, or you have to spend an insane quantity of time in game just to unlock the thing. And I just kind of go, nah, I'm good. That's the old man in me. I'm like, back in my day when we bought a game, it was a game. I'm like, all right.
I love that that's the thing. That's kind of what I do love about the new world is that there are the old man attitude playing video games. Yeah, when I was a little boy playing video games, like that's true. That's where we are.
When I was a kid, Mario only said woohoo. Like,
do you, when you travel, like once you get into video games, I've noticed it. Like I can't now. I have to take them with me. Like, do you travel with a console? Do you switch to your phone? Do you have like what do you do on the road to scratch this itch?
I just did some road work in Oregon last weekend, and okay, all right, I'm being defensive, but I had room in my spare suitcase, and that game came out last weekend.
You took the PS5?
Yeah, I drove. It was in my car.
How awesome is that, though?
It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
I mean, you do have to like get a U-Haul for it. It's like, well, that's what. Yeah, but it's huge. But
dude, yeah, it's like torso sized.
Yeah,
it's big, and it was like it's one of those like it's a bag you check while you're flying. But I set it up, and I literally played it for like 30 minutes. Like I'm in the hotel room, and I'm like, I don't want to have to sit through 2 hours of tutorials. Like, I got work to do. And I was editing videos and doing stuff. But I'm glad I brought it because it is nice. I don't know. It's weird, but it's just like, oh, it's there. Like I have the option. And that was kind of nice instead of being like, okay, either I work on my computer or I go do something in Medford. Sure. Or I watch crappy cable news. But I had this option. So that was kind of nice. But outside of that, normally I just bring like the Switch if I'm like, oh, I need something to distract me. And usually that's mostly for the flight.
Oh, do you play on the toilet?
No,
okay.
I don't really play any games on my phone because anytime I've never found a game that I like that much. And it just feels like I'm like, I'll just play it on the TV. I'll get a controller. You won't
take the Switch in the bathroom?
No, because I think for some reason, I'll be like, this is gross to have here, but I'll have my phone in my hand just being like, bam, 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 the whole time. But I'm like, I shouldn't get poop particles on the Switch. That'd be rude.
My wife's the same way. My wife, anything I take in the bathroom, she's like, why are you taking that in there? I'm like, I take everything besides food. I'm like, that's where I draw the line is food. Yeah. Anything else, I'm like, no, I'll take it in there with me. But yeah. That's fair.
It's a valid point. The whole like, why are you taking that in there? But also you're like, I'm taking me in there. Like I'm.
It's time for 5 quick questions.
I got 5 quick questions to ask you about video games.
Okay.
I'm going to name you the title. You got to tell me, is this an erotic video game or a reality TV show?
Okay.
Okay, that's the game. Here we go. Number 1, Sex Change Hospital.
I'm going to say that's a TV show.
That is correct. That is a reality TV show. All right, you're off to a great start. Number 1. Okay. Number 2. Erotic Empire.
That sounds like a game.
You got it again. That is correct. That is a game that came out in 2004. I'm not really sure what the premise is, but I kind of want to play it now. All right, 2 for 2. Let's see. Number 3. Oh, X on the Beach.
Well, that's a show, isn't it?
That is a show. That was a show. X on the
asked
Beach.
you like I'm like that's you have the answers.
I do know. I do. It's right here. That was a show. Yeah. Okay, you're blowing through this trivia. You're doing fantastic. Let's see. Number 4. Naked Babe Soccer.
Oh, that's a game.
That is an erotic video game. That is correct. That is correct. All right.
I said that like I own it on the Switch, which I do. Well, it's a pretty good game. Like it's
Naked
not
Babe Soccer.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the title says it all, but there's so much more to it. You don't know how naked they can get.
Hey, wait till you see Naked Babe Soccer 2.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5. Ball Run. Is this an erotic video game or reality TV?
I don't want it to be either of them. Ball Run. Okay, I'm going to say that's a video game.
That was a TV show. Ball run. All right, you got 4 out of 5. I got 1. I'm always rooting against you, so I got 1. You got 4, but you smoked me on that. Well done. You've chit-chatted with me. You've played my 5 quick questions. Now it's my favorite part of every show, and that's where I ask you if you'll kindly play a Rad Lib with me. And now it's time for Rad Libs. So here's what happened. I've written a story and I've left out some parts of speech. If you give me those parts of speech together, we're going to make a hilarious story. Are you ready to play?
Yes.
All right, let's get started. I need an adjective ending in EST.
Hairiest.
Hairiest.
There we go. Yeah, that's how smart I am. I'm like, what? This is the hairiest I've been in a while.
I always have to start with my noun and then think of it. And so, yeah.
I was trying to reverse, and you're like, you can't add the descriptor without knowing what you're talking. I was just like, what's an action? Just any.
That's the thinkiest. Okay, let's see. Oh, an unusual first name.
Just anything?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Gertrude.
Gertrude, yes. An occupation.
Cross guard.
A cross guard.
Yeah. You don't see a lot of those.
Is that the person that's like, kids, you can cross now?
Yeah, it's how do they pay all their bills?
I don't know. I've known a comedian that used to do that, but I don't know if it was their full-time gig. Oh, they probably stand up and cross guard. And then, yeah.
Underpaid for both.
Absolutely. Probably much better at one than the other.
Probably.
A location.
Downtown Tokyo.
Yes. Oh, I would love to go. An adjective does not have to end in EST, just an adjective.
Just an adjective.
Mm-hmm.
Just an adjective.
Mm-hmm.
Which is an action that a noun is taking.
No, it's a word that describes a noun. So if it was like a cat, it'd be like, oh, that cat is soft. Or if it's a boob, that boob is bouncy,
Honestly, yeah. Okay. Swift.
Swift. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Type of vehicle.
See, that's the thing too, is that we're doing Rad Libs, so you're like, well, let's go try to be kooky with it. Get a little bit weird. Let's do a 1978 Econoline.
Econoline.
Yeah.
Is that a van?
Yeah, it's gonna be super rusted up.
A famous female.
First one that came to mind, Madonna. I don't know why.
Yes. This is great.
One.
This changes the story. It got really good just now.
Okay.
An animal.
Lemur.
Yes. I don't know why I get so excited. A male name.
Brandon.
Excellent.
I talked to 2 Brandons earlier today too. It was they're having a great time, I think.
The day of the Brandons. A plural noun, so anythings.
I mean, I do know English language, even if I seem like I don't. Like I'm aware of how stupid I sound and frustrated that I am sounding as dumb as I sound.
You don't realize how often this happens. Where I have a guest on, I'm like, okay, cool, like an adjective. They're like, swiftly. I'm like, that's an adverb, but it's okay because I've done this for 2 years and I've had Ben Glebe school me on grammar.
It also doesn't help that while you're on Zoom, you can see yourself just being like, and it's like this weird loop.
I should put a time limit on it just to freak you out more. Like, okay, 15 seconds. I'm not going to explain it. Plural noun, go.
Plural noun. Cats.
Yes. Oh, man. Actually, that probably would help. Special skill.
Cotton candy making.
Yes.
Is that a special skill or is that just a machine? There has to be someone.
You do it because I used to do that at Chuck E. Cheese. It was part of my job. It spins the sugar and then you have to collect it into a glob in a cone, and then you always take a handful and munch on it. And then
And then wonder why you became diabetic.
Yes. Yeah, I should put that on my special skills section. I didn't know that it was I forgot how special that skill is. A body part.
Body part, forearm.
Guilty pleasure.
Gallon of ice cream.
Do you have a favorite ice cream?
Not a specific. I do like weirdly enough, the dairy-free version of Netflix and Chilled by Ben & Jerry's is really good.
Are you dairy-free?
My girlfriend is, and I'm occasionally lactose intolerant. I don't know. Just depends on.
You never know when it's gonna strike.
Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, we did it today. Just consequences. But
it's really funny that you have sneaky lactose intolerance.
I mean, it's been that way for like a decade. Everyone else in my family is just like, oh no, I can't do it. I'm like, oh, it's because your body's not accustomed to the garbage. Like,
So you eat enough dairy that you're like, I can handle it until you can't? Like, what's your
I'm saying, like, there's no rhyme or reason. Like, sometimes I'm fine, and then other times I'm like, we had like a bowl of ice cream, and my body's just like, hey man, you're gonna be loud now.
Okay.
It's weird.
What an adventure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a gamble every time. But if it's a whole gallon, for sure, guilty. Not.
You know what okay, I'm gonna recommend something that's worth getting farts or the diarrhea over. That's Jenny's ice cream. If you ever find Jenny's ice cream, they don't sponsor the show. I wish they would, because we buy enough of it. It has all these crazy. There's one flavor like called biscuits with peach jam, and it tastes like you're eating biscuits with peach jam that have been left in a bowl of ice cream.
Okay. See, that's weird. Like, I like that, but also like it's upsetting because you're just like, that's not back in my day.
Right. Well, there's one called birthday cake, and it tastes like if someone left birthday cake in a bowl of ice cream, but it's like the best birthday cake you've ever had. And I'm like, it's like that's stuff that I eat. My wife likes like there's one called there's one like Mexican hot chocolate, which is just like chocolate ice cream with a little bit of cayenne pepper in it. Fuck, it's so good.
I could see that being really good.
Yeah. Okay.
I like just the straight ice cream, but if you have like a good my mom makes like cobblers.
Oh yeah.
You get some good ice cream with that, and like a hot cobbler, put that in there, let it melt, and you just make some weird sugar soup. Woo.
Oh my God, where does your mom live?
Puyallup, Washington.
Okay,
I mean, if you come through
address, phone number, like some
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna say it on here, but
I'm gonna go visit your mom. I'm gonna go visit your mom.
Yeah, well, she's a nice lady. You guys would probably get along.
Oh, I bet we would. Yeah. Okay. All right. I need an article of clothing.
Left sock.
Okay. Ooh. A virtue.
Honesty.
Yes. Something you overcome.
Losing your left sock.
That's good. A verb ending in ing.
Sucking.
Perfect. That's a great one. Yes.
Mature.
And you would be surprised. The more immature that these are, the better they are. An exclamation.
Ah!
We have a story, my friend. We have a great story written by the two of us. And the story for you is just called The New Adventure Game. New Adventure Game. The hairiest video game this year is called The Adventures of Gertrude the Crossing Guard. Set in ancient times in the kingdom of downtown Tokyo, it has been invaded by a swift 1978 Econoline gang.
That would have to be. Those are not fast vehicles.
It was swift, not fast. So they're
It's
doing
so
the best they can.
It's all relative.
For
It's all
a
relative.
band gang. A 70s band gang. The beloved princess, Princess Madonna, has been kidnapped by the gang's leader, a giant half-man, half-lemur named Brandon. Yeah. Legend has it there is only one who can rescue the princess and restore cats to the land. Her name is Gertrude the Crossguard. Skilled at archery, climbing, and cotton candy making, she has a wise brain and a courageous forearm. Her only weakness, a gallon of ice cream. Armed with her wit, a sword, and a legendary left sock of honesty, she must journey far, face unspeakable evil, and battle losing your left sock. This challenging adventure will not be easy. From the moment you pick up the controller, you won't be able to stop sucking. This game will leave you saying, fuck. Wow, there's a lot to digest there.
Oh man, I really feel like I didn't feel like I nailed it for like the first 2/3, 3/4 of it, but that end right there really came together.
Yeah, I want to play the game now. I want to rescue Princess Madonna.
I wanna suck and yell fuck.
Speaking of erotic video games, so tell the people watching and listening where they can find you and what you have coming up.
You can find me Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all these things. YouTube, just my name, Luke SEVEREID. It's like the word severed with an I before the D. And I'm just touring comic. I'm just, plugging out videos here and there, doing the thing, all that fun stuff, working on an act, trying to put together a new album to work on or do something like that. Hit that road, still getting back in shape. It's fun.
Oh my God. Well, guys, find Luke SEVEREID. So funny, great videos. If you ever get a chance to see him live, it will blow your mind. But thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Interview complete. Congratulations on your new relationship with your PS5. You make a lovely couple. Cheers.
That was an oddly appropriate way to say goodbye to our guest, computer lady. Wow, she's learning. Guys, thank you for watching, for listening. Thank you, Luke, for coming on and being a part of this whole crazy mess. Please, if you did watch or listen, just take a second to like, follow, or subscribe. I don't know why I'm touching your face. Every week, I'll be bringing you another really fun comedian. We'll chit-chat. We'll do 5 quick questions. We'll play a Rad Lib, and everybody wins. So until next time, bye.
We're gonna talk to some people, gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna learn a lot of stuff. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna learn a lot of stuff. 'Cause Kristin